Good morning and welcome to Daily Focus, and I appreciate you joining us again this morning. Thankful for another day to serve the Lord. I trust that you are. It was an absolutely gorgeous summer day yesterday, and anticipate a beautiful day again today. Nothing ever gets us in trouble as much as our mouth, and that is really the lesson that we learned today. There's a phrase that is going to show up twice in the verses that we read, and it's not a phrase that we hear very often today, but it is the phrase prating fool. And a simple study of the word prating gives us this idea of uncontrollable chatter. In other words, somebody who just goes on and on and on and on. Sometimes they go on and on and on about themselves. Sometimes they go on and on and on about what they want you to be thinking because they don't want you to dive into the truth. And so the chatter is covering up. We see this oftentimes portrayed in politics where they have their talking points and they just keep saying those over and over and over again and keep channeling the way people are going to think about an issue, because these talking points are stated over and over and over and over. That type of idea where someone is not necessarily forthright in their character, but they have all the right words to say. They're appealing in their words. I think that it can also allude to the idea of James where there's a lot of talk but not a lot of walk. And so that is the condition of the prating fool. So when we look at Proverbs chapter 10 and we look at verse number 8, it says, "The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. He that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirreth up strifes, but love covereth all sins. In the lips of him that hath understanding wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction." And again, we're reminded of the fact that nothing gets us into trouble faster than our mouth. It tends to be that nothing will get us into trouble faster than sharing our opinion when it hasn't been asked, inserting what we want when it has not been asked for. And so this is kind of one of those areas where God is saying, you know, it's really good to think before you speak. And sometimes it's not about always saying what is on our mind. Sometimes those things are just best kept to ourselves. This doesn't allude to the fact that everything you say is untrue or false. It's more alluding to the fact that some of the things that we say just does not need to be said. It also says that some things that we say that are absolutely true become hypocritical because it's not the way we live. And so we tell everyone what they should do. We tell everyone what is the right thing to do in this scenario, but we have plenty of weaknesses in our life. We have plenty of failures in our life. We have plenty of things that need work in our life. Well, we say all the right things to fix everyone else. Or, like is in the case with our governor and her husband, stay home, stay safe, make sure over these holidays you don't get your boats out. And then the governor's husband wants to try to get his boat out. So it's this idea of speaking and trying to convince people of something, but then the truth is you're not really interested in living that way. And so what you speak to say is so important. When people watch your life, they say, is it really all that important? They don't seem to think it's important. It's important to try to get you to conduct yourself a certain way while they really want to do things their own way. So this prating fool that God is talking about is this person who really lacks the character to be what he wants everyone else to be. This prating fool oftentimes chatters and goes on and on and on and convinces people of something that they want them to do, but in their own lives, they're just not doing what God wants them to do. And the Bible makes it very clear that the prating fool will fall. In other words, their days are numbered. They're going to be found out. It talks about speaking in wisdom, having understanding, but the foolish will be made known. In other words, you're not going to hide your hypocrisy forever. You're not going to get away with your fair speech forever. God is really reminding us that the path of wisdom requires action, not just speech. And so maybe the lesson for us today is simply found in this. Let's not just talk a good talk. Let's walk the walk. I'm reminded of a little saying that I heard a long time ago, and it's always stuck with me. And it is, your walk talks and your talk talks, but your walk talks louder than your talk talks. And so let's not be a prating fool. Let's not be somebody who just simply talks a good game. Let's make sure that we walk the path of wisdom. God reminds us today that that is the place of blessing. That is the place of prosperity, is when it's not just knowing in our head what is right, but doing what is in our heart and knowing that it's right, so that ultimately God in His Word is glorified. So I hope that you'll have a great day today, that you will avoid being a prating fool, but that you will be a wise person on a wise path. God bless you. I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 9.